Hey everyone, Luke here, and today in this video I'm going to talk about THORCHAIN. Okay, so I just wanted to give an overview of why I'm so bullish on THORCHAIN, why I've bought so much of this coin lately, and why I recently actually sold all of my Populous. That's a coin that you guys know I was bullish on, but I recently sold all of it, partially because I wanted to put more of my capital into this coin, and with Populous it's been a lot of setbacks. I still think that the project can have success long term, but I figure if they have success, I can always jump back into that project, okay? But this video will be about THORCHAIN and why I am so bullish on it, okay? So, first of all, large picture, okay? So, if you're in the crypto space, you should be pretty familiar with Uniswap, okay? So, Uniswap is the most used decentralized exchange right now, okay? So it has the most liquidity, it has the most volume, and what it is, it's a decentralized exchange, so there's no third party or anything, and it allows you to swap Ethereum with Ethereum assets, so Ethereum tokens, okay? So Ethereum with Tether, USDC, so the stable tokens, and with all the tokens that are on Ethereum, such as Populous, or Veritasium has a market on Uniswap, or any number of coins that are on Ethereum, which is a lot of them, okay? And this was a major breakthrough, okay? I don't know if you've been in the space long enough, you can remember the days of fork delta, okay, and how much of a pain in the ass that was to use. And Uniswap was a real breakthrough from a user perspective and from a yield perspective, okay? So part of it is easier to use than fork delta. Part of it is also the fact that it allows liquidity pools, which are a major innovation, okay? And the liquidity pooling allowed people to earn a yield. So how it worked is you could put, if you had an Ethereum token or Ethereum, you could join a pool, and then you could earn some of the fees that the platform was generating from people buying and selling from that liquidity pool, okay? And so not only did the liquidity pool allow people to earn a yield all of a sudden on their DeFi assets or their tokens, but also it's a more efficient basically means of it's more efficient for capital, right? Instead of having just one order for one buy order for one sell order, if you have a pool and then there's the buy and sells happen through that pool, it's just more efficient, right? And that allows people to lock up as much money as they want, basically, into the smart contract. Okay, so Uniswap was a major breakthrough. It was the biggest breakthrough that we've seen with each decentralized exchanges. Okay, if you combined the technology with the user experience, okay? And we can see why ETH fees are so expensive, because so many people are using Uniswap, okay? It's basically made Ethereum fees skyrocket. I've paid $300-$400 for a Uniswap transaction before trying to claim airdrops, just because I wanted it done quickly. And so yeah, it's a victim of its own success to a certain extent. So I knew that this sort of decentralized exchange is the future, okay? Because there's no KYC, there's no third party that you have to depend on, and it's better because it allows a yield too, right? It's better in every way, basically, okay? If you combine all these factors. And what I've been looking for some time was a cross-chain one, okay? So Uniswap is cool, and 1inch and these other ones, but they're only Ethereum and Ethereum-based assets, okay? What we want is we want something that can also swap your Ethereum for Bitcoin, your Bitcoin for Litecoin, for Bitcoin Cash, for ADA, for Theta, whatever it is, and then you can swap across all the chains. And that brings me to THORCHAIN, okay? So I'm not going to go too much into the fundamentals of how it works, okay, because it gets pretty heady, okay? The actual fundamental, like, how it works, okay? But basically, all you need to know is that it's a cross-chain Uniswap, okay? It allows pools of assets, like Uniswap allows you pools of an asset like Ethereum or USDC or whatever. What THORCHAIN allows is you to add Bitcoin to a Bitcoin pool, or Ethereum to an Ethereum pool. It also does, right now, it does BNB, it does USDC, it does Litecoin, it does Bitcoin Cash. And then you can sell these native assets for each other, okay? So you can sell native on-chain Litecoin for native on-chain Bitcoin Cash with no third party, no KYC, and it's an amazing invention, okay? It's actually a much bigger deal than Uniswap, in my opinion, because you have to realize not only does it allow native cross-chain like Bitcoin for Litecoin, it allows all the tokens on the chain. So you can see right here, they added Sushi recently. Okay, Sushi is an Ethereum token. So you can swap native Bitcoin Cash for an Ethereum token. Okay? So not only is it the chains, it's the tokens on the chains that it allows. So they'll be adding all the biggest Binance tokens, all the biggest Ethereum tokens. Eventually they'll add ADA, right? They'll do all the biggest tokens on ADA, okay? And they'll be adding. I imagine that they'll be adding the top 100 assets. Okay, so that includes soon they'll be adding Monero, Dogecoin, the other big Ethereum tokens. They'll be adding the biggest Binance tokens like PancakeSwap, Cake is another one. The biggest, and they're already adding the biggest Ethereum tokens. So we can see that they have Sushi now, they have Hot, they have Wi-Fi, they have Synthetics, they have Alpha, they have Cream. I imagine Aave will be on here very soon, because Aave, we know, is one of the biggest DeFi projects. Imagine Uni will be on here. And so this will be a one-stop place where you can basically do swaps for the top 1 to 200 crypto assets that have enough liquidity for you to swap with. Okay? This is a major, major innovation. If we think Uniswap was a major invention, this is just Ethereum and Ethereum tokens. This is all the tokens on all the chains, including native blockchain for another native blockchain swap. So Bitcoin for Litecoin or whatever it may be. This is an incredible invention, you guys. And this is honestly what I've been looking for. I didn't even know this was possible. I was hoping this would be possible in like a year from now. I didn't realize that there was a project that was already going live and already was building liquidity. Okay? So you have to realize that not only is it from a user perspective that, it's easier to use, right? Because there's no KYC, no third-party risk and stuff like that. You can also, it's like Uniswap, you can join the pool and earn a yield. So we can see, look at this Litecoin yield right now, 22%. That means if this kept up, if you staked $1,000 worth of Litecoin, you would earn 20% on that over the year. So you would earn, if you don't include price appreciation, if it was $1,000 worth of Litecoin and the price stayed the same, obviously you have to include the price volatility of the asset. But let's say Litecoin stayed the same price. If you put $1,000 of Litecoin, you would have $1,200 worth of Litecoin at the end of the year. 20% APY is extremely high for an asset. I do expect these will go down significantly. Okay, you have to realize that the APYs are high because there's not a lot of liquidity on it, right? We can see that Bitcoin already has the most liquidity, and its APY is down at 6%. So we can see that as more and more liquidity is added, the APYs will go down. Okay. So this is a way to decentralize. It's a way to basically earn yield without a third party, right? So usually if you want to earn yield on your Bitcoin, you have to deposit your Bitcoin to a third party. Like Celsius is a really common one now. BlockFi is another one. There's a lot of them now. And how that works is they take your Bitcoin, they then have custody of, and then they lend it to institutions that were looking to margin trade or short, long with margin, or they're looking for it to hedge in certain ways. And then they earn, and then they pay you some of that yield that they're getting off of your asset that they're holding. This is a way to do that in a decentralized way. So you don't have to trust Celsius. You can put your Bitcoin onto THORCHAIN, and it's completely decentralized. There's no Celsius that has. You still have control of your assets. So this is amazing, right? Because now Bitcoin holders can earn a yield. Ethereum holders can earn a yield. Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, the holders of these assets can earn a yield without third-party risk. Okay. So that's an amazing invention. It's not just from the user standpoint of no KYC, no third-party risk, like having to use Binance or something, but and also another major use case is just earning yield. Okay, and money chases yield, and so we can see that there's a massive demand for yield. I mean, look at the growth of places like Celsius. People want to earn a yield on their cryptos. Okay. Another thing that they're working on is that you'll be able to take out synthetic assets. So if you're familiar with Uniswap, If you join a liquidity pool, you can then take out tokens that represent basically the liquidity that you've provided, and then you can yield farm with those. You'll be able to do the same in THORSwap with native assets. So you'll be able to pull out synthetic Bitcoin, okay, out of the Bitcoin that you pooled, and then you'll be able to take that synthetic Bitcoin, and then you'll be able to earn more interest on it by putting it into different DeFi applications that we'll be plugging into THORCHAIN. Okay, so this is an amazing thing, and it's more efficient than centralized exchanges in a lot of ways, especially for certain amounts of swaps. Okay, you can actually, once the liquidity starts to increase on this platform, you'll actually pay less to do a swap than you will pay on Binance or something. So it's competition for centralized exchanges. Obviously, it's not a huge competition for fiat on-ramping because you can't on-ramp fiat yet in a decentralized way. But as far as cross-chain swaps, it'll actually be cheaper and more efficient to do this than to use something like Binance in the future. Okay, so this is an amazing technology. And if you go to cryptocurrency market cap, let's find THORCHAIN. Yes, has it gone parabolic? Of course it has. We can look at the chart. So if you don't understand how much utility it has, it seems like you're buying a parabolic chart. But if we look at Uniswap, for example, which is, as we know, the most used DEX, it was a top 10 coin. It's still basically it comes in and out of the top 10, okay? And Uniswap doesn't even have the fundamentals that RUNE does. It only does Ethereum and Ethereum tokens. And the Uniswap token has no actual use case for how much liquidity is being locked up. People don't realize, Uniswap is the token's mostly hype. It's only a governance token, and how many people are actually partaking in the governance of it, right? And so RUNE is actually required to lock up liquidity on the platform. It's the way the structure of it works. So if I add $1 of liquidity on Litecoin, the way the bonding system works, it causes a $3 increase in the value of RUNE. Okay, not a $3 increase, but a $3 added value to the market cap. Okay, so if I add $1 of liquidity to Litecoin, okay, that's then $3 of buying pressure. It's like I bought $3 worth of RUNE. Okay, so same thing with all the assets. So if I add $1 worth of liquidity to Bitcoin, okay, that's $3 of buying pressure on RUNE that has to be locked up. That's the way the bonding system works. And if you can go to Twitter, and there's some really good THORCHAIN people you can follow, so you can determine the fair value of RUNE. Okay, so we can see that the fair value. This was a while. This was May 6th before they added more liquidity. But the baseline was about $12, okay? And they upped it, okay? And so the baseline is closer to let's see, it was $12. So with the added liquidity that was added, the baseline now is closer to $14 or $15. So we can see the price is actually the speculation is actually not much above the utility of the token that's required for how much liquidity is already staked, okay? And we have to realize that the liquidity on this platform is still quite low. Okay, they only are allowing 2 million RUNE to be pooled, and then they're slowly raising it. Okay, but once they have it uncapped within a few months and they have unlimited liquidity, the price can explode. Okay, and it's not necessarily extremely correlated to the rest of the market, because as long as this platform is growing, and even if the market crashes, this project is already barely above its fair value for the amount of liquidity that's added. And so if if THORCHAIN is raising its caps and liquidity is being added, which it will, because it has such an amazing use case and people will be chasing the yield, even if the market's going down, RUNE can still go up just because of the utility of the platform. Does that make sense? The token has to have a certain value in the way it functions, okay? How much utility the platform is generating. So even if the market crashes, if the utility of the THORCHAIN, of the platform is going up, it can go up either way, because there's not that much. If you do the math, the speculation right now, the cream above the actual where the token should be, isn't that high, okay? And we can see that on these dips. If you go to the daily chart, it can't. We see it's not dipping. This is just chop on the daily chart. And it can't go much lower because there's too much liquidity. There's too much utility on the platform, basically. Okay. And so, and anytime the caps, the pool caps have been raised, we're seeing people fill up the liquidity within a couple minutes because there's so much demand for the platform. Okay. And so you can imagine what's going to happen to the price as they increase this and eventually just get rid of the cap altogether. There's so much room for this project to grow. And I know the chart looks parabolic, but like I said, if you do the math makes so much sense. And so that's why I've been accumulating so much of it. And my price target is I think it should flip Uniswap. I think this should be a top 10 coin. Okay. It could go top 5. But if you think of the fundamentals of what it allows compared to Uniswap and the way the token works compared to Uniswap, and we see what Uniswap has done, this project has so much potential, and it's the leader. Other people are integrating THORSwap. So if you go to Shapeshift, for instance, Shapeshift is integrating THORCHAIN. So when you now see our integration with THORCHAIN enables users, and so what's going to happen is THORCHAIN has the lead for basically the base liquidity providing layer. And so all these wallets and apps are going to be using THORCHAIN as the base layer. And we go to Trust Wallet is another one that's integrating with THORCHAIN if you go to their GitHub. So Trust Wallet's one of the most used cryptocurrency wallets there is. And they're integrating THORCHAIN because these wallets don't have to maintain their own infrastructure, right? They basically just add THORCHAIN at the base layer, and then they maybe add a fee on top of it, and then THORCHAIN does all the work for them. Same with like projects like AVAX or Theta or all these Ethereum competitors. They don't even have to maintain their own Ethereum bridges anymore. They just integrate THORCHAIN, the THORCHAIN wallet, and they have a built-in decentralized bridge, okay, where you can swap your Ethereum for Matic or for Binance or AVAX or Theta or ADA, and then you can use that. You can use ADA or Theta, and you can use their platforms, right? And THORCHAIN just swaps it for you, and it becomes a decentralized bridge that these projects don't have to maintain. So it's going to be really big for the utility of these Ethereum competitors, I think. It's a big deal in my opinion. So I've been accumulating. I don't have a specific price target. My target is top 10. I'll probably take profits when it hits top 10 because I think it will hit top 10. I think it could hit top 5. And I think it'll definitely flip Uniswap. If you do the math and you look at the differences and the traction it's getting, the first mover advantage, how much it's already the demand. I've watched the demand. As soon as these caps get lifted, people are rushing in to provide liquidity. And so, yeah, I'm super bullish. So the next video I will do will be how to use THORCHAIN. Okay, this is just why I'm bullish on the project. Okay. So if you want to follow THORCHAIN on Twitter, let's see here. THORCHAIN is a good one. That's just like the developers you can follow THORCHAIN on. You can also follow THORSwap, which is so just follow. If you just type in THORCHAIN, so if this one is good, this is like the THORCHAIN team. You can go to let's see, THORSwap. Yeah, THORSwap is another one. And yeah, and you can follow all the updates on Twitter. That's probably the best place to do it. And there's a community that you can follow too. Like Bitcoin Sage is another good one. There's like a Batman one. I forget the name. But yeah, I would follow them. All these people, if you want to follow THORCHAIN, and they'll tell you when the caps are about to be lifted, so you can provide your own liquidity. I plan on providing Bitcoin Cash liquidity. Look, I can earn 20% of my Bitcoin Cash, so you better believe I'm going to take some Bitcoin Cash, and I'm going to provide liquidity. But in the next video I make, I will show you guys how to provide liquidity, how to use the wallet and everything. But this is just an overview of why I'm so bullish on this project. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and look forward to part 2, where I show you guys how to use it. All right, bye.